So in the current events of the Boruto manga, we are definitely transitioning into something very big very soon. Considering what just happened against the battle against Ishiki Otsutsuki, and with Boruto learning about his fate with the Otsutsukification, with Momoshiki who might take over Boruto's body in the future, especially with Kawaki yearning to get power in order to protect Naruto, I definitely do think there is something humongous coming in the very near future of the Boruto manga. So do you remember episode 1 or chapter 1 of the Boruto manga when we saw Teen Kawaki and Teen Boruto face off on the Hokage Mountains? I do think we might get to see Teen Boruto and Teen Kawaki in the very near future, and that's what I'm alluding to. I do think the Boruto manga is going to get into the time skip very soon, and here's why. The thing is, with the current event, with the latest chapter of the Boruto manga, Boruto chapter 58, there are definitely a lot of stuff that is giving me time skip vibes, especially with the last page in that chapter with Naruto saying, "Go for it, all of you, you may get a lot stronger." And this is where Kawaki says, "I swear I'll get a lot stronger, no matter what it takes." And the thing is, with this last page, it definitely does give me a lot of vibes that they are going into a time skip. The thing is, when it comes to training, I do think a lot of it will go off screen. When you look at the end of part 1 and going into Shippuden, when it comes to the main characters of Team 7 and everyone else in the Konoha 11, everyone got significantly stronger off screen. We saw Naruto, he went off to train with Jiraiya for 2.5 years, where he learned to master his chakra control, he had improved genjutsu defense, he learned how to control the 9 tails up to the 2 tails state. Not only that, he was able to use a Rasengan with one hand, which did show that Naruto went through a lot of improvement. Same thing goes for Sakura, she learned how to do medical ninjutsu and got insanely powerful with that superhuman strength, and as well with Sasuke, with him picking up a sword and learning a lot of jutsus while training under Orochimaru. And the thing is, I do think it's going to be very similar in this scenario, especially with Team 7 right now. All they have to do currently is to train, and to be honest with you, with this training, it can be done all off screen. I don't think we need to get chapters on chapters of them learning new jutsus, learning new abilities, because I'm not gonna lie, like, it does get boring, especially with the Boruto manga being monthly. If this was a weekly manga, I wouldn't mind any training, because there's a lot of content that you can give out in a weekly manga in a very short amount of time. But when you wait month by month in a monthly manga, it definitely does kind of get boring when you do wait 30 days just to get some training and a couple scenes, which does get dulled out. So I do think a lot of the stuff that when it comes to training, I do think it's going to be done off screen. Specifically, once the anime does catch up to this point, they're definitely going to expand on this part a lot. So we're going to see a lot of expansion. We're definitely going to get training arcs with Boruto, Kawaki, and the rest of Team 7 in the anime once they do catch up to the manga. Because if you guys didn't notice already, the Boruto manga does tend to leave out a lot of details, especially when it comes to depth for many characters. That's where the anime comes in, expanding on other characters, filling in the details and answering some questions that were left unanswered in the manga. That's where the anime comes in. But when it comes to the Boruto manga, I definitely do see the manga skipping out on their training and having that shown all off screen during the time skip. And the thing is, when it comes to the Boruto manga, Mikio Ikimoto, the artist of the Boruto manga, he had an interview with Manga Plus talking about the serialization of the Boruto manga. So in the interview that he had with Manga Plus, he did have a set goal when it comes to running the Boruto series in the future. The first thing that he did say is that he did not want the story to be too long. In fact, he did want to complete the Boruto manga in about 30 volumes, which if you do add it up with all the volumes from the Naruto manga, that would be at about 100 volumes. The Naruto manga has about 72 volumes, and adding 30 would be at about 100, specifically 102 if you want to be exact. With Ikimoto, he did say this back in 2016 when Ukyo Kodachi, the previous writer of the Boruto manga, was writing the story. Currently now in the Boruto manga, Kodachi did get replaced, and Masashi Kishimoto, the original creator of the Naruto series, he came back to write Boruto. So we don't know if that is subject to change. We don't know if this is still true. We don't know if there's gonna be more than 30 volumes. Do you remember the opening scene for the first chapter? Yes, that one scene where a young Boruto and Kawaki stand off against each other. I still can't mention when exactly the scene is located within the story, but the point where they take on that grown-up form is not that far away. Why did the two become hostile? What was Naruto's fate? Make sure not to miss this series of turbulent developments. However, on the basis that Ikimoto is still planning to finish the Boruto manga within about 30 volumes, we are definitely getting very close to that halfway point. Of course, 30 divided by 2 is 15. So if they don't change anything on this 30 volume goal. At about 15 volumes, I do see the Boruto manga transitioning or getting into that time skip. And if you don't know already, when it comes to a Boruto manga volume, it does consist of 4 chapters per volume. Right now is that we are currently on volume 15. There is one more chapter currently left in volume 15. In circulation, at least in Japan, there has been a total of 14 volumes released of the Boruto manga, so we have one more volume that is supposed to be released next month, because currently in the Boruto manga, we are currently on Boruto chapter 58, and the next chapter signifies the end of Boruto volume 15, which is literally the halfway point of 30 volumes. So if Ikimoto is true to his word that he is still sticking with this 30 volume plan, I definitely do think the time skip will happen at 15 volumes. And I do want to say, when it comes to these volumes in the Boruto manga, every last chapter to each volume, there is always a cliffhanger. Like for example, at the end of volume 11, we got the Boroshiki reveal. At the end of volume 12, we saw Ishiki invade the Leaf Village. And at the end of volume 13, we saw Naruto enter the Baryon mode for the very first time. At the end of volume 14, we did see the introduction of Ada. So if you notice the pattern already, there's always a cliffhanger at the last chapter of each volume. I do think there is going to be a very big cliffhanger at the end of the next volume, at volume 15, which would mark the halfway points for the goal that Ikimoto set back in 2016. Of course, this is subject to change. We don't know if he's still going on with this, especially with Kishimoto coming back as the current writer. We don't know if this is still true or not, but on the basis that it is true, I do think that would be the time to start the time skip, because we do know that currently Team 7, especially with Boruto and Kawaki, they need to train. And to be honest with you, with a monthly manga, this training can definitely take place off screen. Now, do I think the time skip is happening at the end of next chapter or the next 2 chapters? To be honest with you, no. I do think there's some things that need to be fleshed out with some characters, specifically with Code and Ida. I think that is the biggest factor when it comes to transitioning into this time skip, and that is, what the hell is Code and Ida currently planning to do? Of course, Code and Ida, they do have their own plans. First, with Code, he does want to kill Naruto, Sasuke, and Amato for killing Ishiki Otsutsuki and betraying the Kara organization, and then of course he wants to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails so he can harvest the chakra fruit in order to become an Otsutsuki god. Meanwhile, with Ida, she wants to find a true lover. That is why she wants to find someone like Kawaki who wouldn't actually fall under her allure ability. And to be honest with you, it depends what the hell is Code and Ida are going to do now. After the latest chapter of the Boruto manga, I do see Boruto and Kawaki training. I definitely do think we need 1 or 2 chapters to check up on Code or Ida, because they are the biggest factor when it comes to transitioning into this time skip. The thing is, will Code actually want to come to the Leaf Village now? Because like I said, his primary goal is to kill Naruto, Sasuke, and Amato. That's the first thing he definitely wants to do. Will he want to do this right now, or will he wait 2.5 years? In my opinion, I do think he's going to want to do this now. I do see Code coming to the Leaf Village. I don't see any point of him waiting 2.5 years for them to get stronger. He knows that there is nobody that can stop him. It is stated that he could probably take out Naruto and Sasuke, which does show you just how strong Code is. Even though he is being limited by those limiters on his head and he is essentially nerfed, he is still very powerful. Just by his words alone, he thinks he can kill Naruto and Sasuke. But the thing is, he doesn't want to spare any unnecessary hardship, which is why we have Ada. I think Ada is the biggest factor here because she is stronger than Jigen. She is one of the cyborgs that was stored away that Jigen was kind of afraid of, since she actually has more power than him. And if Ida and Code team up together and pull up to the Leaf Village, it is going to be a slaughter fest. No one is going to be able to fight them. It is going to be a one-sided battle. Everyone is getting destroyed, because we do know that at the end of this chapter, they are basically teaming up. They're going to work together, and since it does seem like they're going to have a collaboration together, I feel like they both will pull up inside the Leaf Village, and this is where they're going to destroy everyone. And the thing is, are they going to do this now, or will they wait 2.5 years, 3 years for Boruto and the crew to train? And to be honest with you, I think Kishimoto, he might pull a fast one. I think he's bold on this one, and I do see Code and Ida pulling up inside the Leaf Village, and that definitely is going to decide when the time skip will happen, because if that does happen in the next chapter, the time skip won't happen at the cutoff of volume 15. It'll happen in about 5 to 6 more chapters, and that's where I think the time skip will actually happen. I do think the time skip will happen in about 4 to 5 to 6 chapters from now. I don't think it'll be next chapter, because I do think we need some more characterization, and I do think Kishimoto is bold enough to have both Code and Ida to pull up inside the Leaf Village right now. I don't think there's any point for them to wait. I think that would be crazy, because if this does happen, they're going to slaughter everyone. It is going to be an absolute beatdown. No one in the Leaf Village currently has the power to fight both Code and Ida at the same time. If it was just Code, they might be able to do something, since Code doesn't want to spare any unnecessary hardship, but with someone like Ida on his team, it is going to be a slaughter fest. Ida is stronger than Jigen. We saw what Jigen did to prime Naruto and Sasuke. You gotta remember, Naruto and Sasuke lost their main sources of powers. No Kurama, no Rinnegan. And the thing is, they're fighting these two people if they do ever pull up to the Leaf Village. And if that does happen, I do think the time skip will happen in about 4 to 5 to 6 chapters. It's gonna take some time. It might take another volume, because if that does happen and we do get this beatdown, I do think it'll give more motivation for the younger generation to train, because they realize who are they going to fight against. And of course, Kawaki knows how strong Code is. He did state that he is stronger than Boruto, he is stronger than Delta, so Boruto definitely does understand how strong he is, but I don't think everyone else in that generation understand the stakes that they are at. They don't understand who Code is. They don't even know his powers. Like, no offense to Sarada and Mitsuki, I love them, but I don't think they understand the memo of what's gonna happen with someone like Code and Ida. They don't know who they are, unlike with Kawaki. Kawaki, he needs power, and thing is, they need to train. And to be honest with you, if Code and Ida does pull up and smack everyone in the Leaf Village, that is definitely gonna give a lot of motivation for them to train in the future if they do indeed survive. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think the time skip is happening next chapter, or do you think that is subject to change where we get the time skip later this year? That might happen in the next 4 to 5 chapters, or are you one of those people who thinks it might happen next year, late next year, or 2 years from now? The thing is, I do think the time skip will happen very soon. I do think the latest the time skip will occur will be by the beginning of next year. I do think the quickest time for the time skip to happen would be by the end of next chapter or the chapter after. So I do think there might be some leeway in between and might happen in the next 4 to 5 chapters. So let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen in this couple of chapters? So let me know, when do you think the time skip is going to happen? Do you think it'll happen next chapter, or do you think it'll happen by the end of this year or next year? Let me know in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.